Yo, I'm Adrian from Rabona TV, and today we're talking Germany, France, the title race in Netherlands, and how United beat Chelsea. But first, Tottenham did their half of the bargain for chopping down Chelsea's lead at the top of the table by beating Bournemouth, and Harry Kane scored. That didn't take very long. His 20th of the season. That means that the one-season wonder who doesn't stop scoring joins the likes of Ruud van Nistelrooy, Alan Shearer, and Thierry Henry in securing 20-plus goals in 3 consecutive seasons. That's an exclusive club. So, the United vs Chelsea match, which I gotta say didn't go as I thought it would, as I predicted another boring draw. But Mourinho came through with the vintage tactical masterpiece. Also, it helped that United scored in the first 20 minutes of a Premier League match for the first time this season. Wow. So, United's tactic was basically to cut the head of the snake off, which I think that's close to what the saying is, but I don't think that's the actual saying. I think I've got it wrong there. And in this case, the snake is Diego Costa. So, to cut that head off, this is getting worse and worse. They had to shut down Hazard and Pedro and make them basically completely ineffectual. If you stop the distribution, then in theory, you stop Diego. And a huge proponent of stopping that distribution was Ander Herrera's award-winning, Rabona TV award-winning, display in man-marking Eden Hazard and making him useless. He was looking like last year's Eden Hazard. And so United was able to stop the supply and then some, as after the first half, both Hazard and Pedro had 0 crosses completed, 0 take-ons, and guess what? 0 chances created. And Costa's hold-up play wasn't great. In fact, he was dispossessed by United 10 times. That's more than any other player this season. Also, he only completed 2 passes in the first 25 minutes, both from the kickoff spot. Zlatan, on the other hand, was on the bench due to fatigue, or maybe José Mourinho read the fact that Zlatan Ibrahimovic has missed more goal-scoring opportunities, clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities, than any other player in the Premier League. Even despite that fact, United would still be hurting without him. This 3-5-2 wing-back formation that José deployed was so effective that Chelsea didn't even manage a single shot. This is the first time this has happened since September of 2007. Maybe John Terry was so disgusted by that stat that he decided there and then that it was time to leave this club once and for all. Another thing that I found so interesting was United's trust in their academy players, with both Rashford and Lingard starting in attack. Mourinho is known for not shying away from the checkbook during the transfer window. Dude spends more than my girlfriend. But he's continued the United tradition of giving youth a chance, and now United has gone 3,852 matches straight with at least one player from their youth ranks in the matchday squad. In fact, Mourinho has given more time to teenage players than any other manager this season. Mourinho has given teenagers 1,443 minutes, Guardiola 415, Pochettino 19, Wenger 1 minute, and Conte a big fat 0. Alright, now let's go to Germany and look at this league, because this league has maybe been the most competitive one of this season, given that there's only 9 points between relegation and the Europa League. And RB Leipzig, a team that was just promoted into the Bundesliga this past year, has already secured their spot in the Champions League next season. Whoa! And fellow Bundesliga interesting and cool team to watch, Hoffenheim, had maybe the best match of the weekend against Borussia Mönchengladbach, in which it ended 5-3 to Hoffenheim, putting them one step closer to securing their spot in the group stage of the Champions League. However, Dortmund is right behind them, just like 1 point behind them, and the two face each other on May 6th, so you gotta watch that match. And some other leagues are also starting to break the mold in Europe, with some emerging strong teams. In France, a Balotelli-less Nice managed their 3rd win on the trot against Nancy. Nice and Nancy, baby. And in doing so, guaranteed a top 3 finish for the first time in 41 years. 41 years! Nice, by the way, have only lost twice. That's less losses than both Monaco and PSG, the 2 teams in front of them. But they aren't so far behind, with 72 points to PSG's and Monaco's 74 and 77 respectively, so that is a title race to watch. Another one you're going to want to keep your eye on is the title race in the Eredivisie, as both Feyenoord and red-hot Ajax won over the weekend, ensuring that it's as you were, with 1 point separating them at the top. Next up for Ajax is PSV, in which could be a huge match in their title aspirations, as there's only 3 matches left, and it's looking like Feyenoord has the easier run into the end of the season, well, on paper at least. And on paper and in reality, that's it for this episode. So drop a like if you liked it, if you felt happy about it, or if you learned something, because that's what it's all about, guys. It's all about education. My name is Adrian, this is Rabona TV, and I will hopefully see you in the next video, which will be a European roundup, everything Champions League and Europa League again. A peace!